my shows with that piece. I call it Cocktail of Glamour and Anarchy.
And it is.
Yes,
And now you're the official archivist of the Cockettes.
I am. Kind of by happenstance, I just kind of took on that role in 1994. I started collecting, and I've amassed an incredible collection to this day, and have exhibitions all over the world. I had an exhibition in Oslo, Norway,
Oh, wonderful.
a year and a half ago, and another here. I just had an art show, a photography show at the Envoy Gallery when I got here on October 3rd. That went really
All
nice.
right. Excellent, excellent.
But I'm
And-
the one that holds on to that and preserves it, and I've been donating parts of my collection, like I said, to the New York Public Library of Performing Arts at Lincoln Center,
Great.
which already has another Cockette substantial collection of the lyricist Martin
Oh,
Warren.
good. So it'll keep it all
So
in
we're
one
keeping
place.
it intact,
Yeah.
and I understand within the year that that material will be available to the public.
Great.
Yeah.
Excellent. Now, why don't you mention your show again on Friday so that people can
Oh, sure. I'm
come
calling
and
the
see
show
it.
A Cocktail of Glamour and Anarchy. The show starts at 11 o'clock. It's at 45 Bleecker Street between Lafayette and Mott
All
in
right.
Manhattan. And come on down. It's going to be a hoot. I'm hosting Augusto Machado as my sidekick that night. And we have 5 special guests. We have Carl with Records, an import I'm bringing in from San Francisco, who arrives later on tonight. The R&B star Farad, who's just made his first musical video. Performance artists Joseph Keckler and Aaron Markey. And Francois Chagneau, a fabulous dancer from Paris.
Excellent.
So it's going to be a really
It'll be a
beautiful
fantastic
evening.
show.
And this time I'm going to do like a talk show format, rather than just have them perform and then off and the next one. After they perform, they're going to sit down with me in Augusto, and we're going to interview them.
Oh, I think
want
that's
to know
a
more
great
about. I
idea.
want to know more about what they're up to and their projects besides just my own and coming out for me and supporting me. I want to know what else they're up to, and I have a question I'm going to ask all of them. My former assistant just told me that they might not be asked for the rest of their lives, and that is what their hopes and dreams are. I think that's very important.
It is. People usually ask children things
I
like
know.
that.
Well, welcome back to Let Them Talk. I'm Paul DiRienzo with Miss Joan Marie Musi, our guest, Rumi Missabu.
No, Miss
Missabu.
Abu.
You promised you'd get it
I
right.
know, I promised I'd get Missabu.
Miss
I'm sorry,
Abu.
but tell us about your name. How did Missabu? What kind of name is that?
Well, the Rumi is an old Persian name.
Right.
I took that name based on the Sufi poet Rumi, and who I was super into in the hippie days. I was into all things psychic
Mystical.
and mystical, exactly, at the time. So I was reading the poet Rumi, and I loved his work. And to this day, I really admire his work. And even the translator, the best translator of Rumi in this country now, only became aware of of Rumi's work in the 70s.
Oh, interesting.
And I got into it probably in 68, 67, was reading his work and just loved his stuff. And I understand today, Rumi outsells Emily Dickinson in America in sales.
Well, tell people what Sufism is.
Sufism, well, it's kind of it's almost like the religion of love. That's what I call it. It's all about love. Unrequited love. It's just
Oh, that
all about love.
sounds good to me.
Now, talk about, because I noticed that on your website, they
Yeah.
talk about your influence, or like Wikipedia anyway, they talk about the influence
Yes.
on your career being Artaud, or Taud.
Artaud? Anton Artaud.
Anton Artaud.
Yes,
And I looked him up because I didn't know much about him.
yes,
So I looked him up, and then of course I knew a lot about
Yes,
him. So I looked him up. Why is that an influence on you? A person who saw almost like a life, like the world is being sort of sinking in its own.
Yes, the theater of cruelty.
Yeah, right. Right. How does that?
That's a book I
influence you?
recommend, Artaud's book, to all young struggling actors, called The Actor and Its Double. It's a wonderful book. Artaud was a huge influence on me in my early days. I was a theater major, and I just really respected his work and what he was teaching. He wasn't quite like Stanislavski or anything like that, but certainly his influence impacted me a great deal, and kind of made me morph into what I became. And before the Cockettes, I got to work with another group that was also very much inspired by Artaud, called the Living Theater, with Judith Beck and Judith Malina.
Oh, all right.
So they came to San Francisco, and they were doing a play called Paradise Now, and I got to work with them in that play, and that really changed my whole perspective on just dumb Broadway shows and stuff like that. I never looked back.
Okay, good. Very good. So that's how you decided to take this direction into alternative theater, I guess.
Exactly. I saw the Living Theater break down. There were no third walls. The audience could morph right into the stage. The actors on the stage could morph right into the audience. sometimes I'd walk across them. That's what my friend Iggy Pop did.
Right.
He used to walk across the audience, and people, but even David Bowie said, "How could you do that?" and tried it and fell.
Well, we are live, and we'll
Yeah.
take a call or two. We'll give it a shot anyway. Our number is 212-757-1538. It's right on the screen, so just give us a call.
call us
Oh,
up.
cool! I didn't know you can call it. I would have told my friends in California
Yeah,
or something.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't know it was a
All right,
call
Rumi,
in.
The slideshow we just saw, those
Yes.
are some fascinating pictures.
Yes.
What were some of those images?
They're all images from my collection, from many, many different sources, and from many photographers. I get things from everywhere, from eBay to people donate things to me. A number of Cockettes have died, and I've become the
Archivist.
the archivist for their things and have morphed them into my collection. So I'm always looking. I collect every single listing and piece of paper and magazine that comes out,
Right.
and it doesn't stop. I mean, we had no idea. The Cockettes were just together 2.5 years,
Yeah.
and I was only in the group for 1 year.
And what
we-
years were those? Just
We came together the New Year's Eve, 69, 70, and by July 1972, it was all over. And I quit after 10 months and went solo, and I wasn't here for the big debacle when the Cockettes were in theater. I refused to come.